Well, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome two dear friends who are online with us today. Jason Hoopai of HLRI is with us. And Jason, first of all, want to welcome you on board. Aloha to you.
Aloha. Thank you, Rick, for having me.
I know that we've had a chat recently, but there have been some movements with HLRI that I want to make sure that our friends are aware of. And we're going to cover some of that ground together as well. So looking forward to it, without a doubt. And we are delighted to welcome the newest HLRI board member. It is Susan Dujmovic, who is joining us. Susan, I apologize if I mispronounced your last name, but I welcome you. Aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. Well, I'm going to jump in with you, Susan, if you don't mind. And congratulations
Sure.
and welcome aboard with HLRI as the newest board member. Would you mind sharing just a little bit about yourself? You have a tremendous background.
Sure. Where to start? Who is Sue? Well, I come from an immigrant family, first generation Croatian in Vancouver. I've lived in Vancouver all my life and learned some basic values of working hard and giving back. So early on in my career in banking, which spans over 30 years, I learned to give back early. And so I have participated in a number of nonprofits spanning Rotary, mental health, youth, leadership, women, and so I'm constantly looking for opportunities to give back.
A wonderful part of your role is not only board director, but also finance committee member. And you referred of a remarkable financial background. This culminated with service to the great nation of Canada. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So, yes, my background is banking and in a number of areas, governance, finance, compliance, risk. And in 2006, when we had a change in government federally in Canada, I was appointed as a board member to the Royal Canadian Mint. And the Royal Canadian Mint is a Crown corporation, and it's a manufacturing organization. It's one of the few that actually doesn't require funding from government. And we actually produce the sovereign coin of Canada. But what people don't realize, and a lot of Canadians don't realize, is that organization produces coins for a number of other countries, of over 50, to be honest. And we're also involved in like bullion and refinery as well as collectibles. So it was a excellent opportunity to learn more about, give back to Canadians in such a unique way. And I got to learn at the same time. So one of the things about, choosing to participate in nonprofit outside of, your day-to-day is not only what you can give back, but what you can learn too. And that's one of the reasons why, HLRI was so attractive to me is there's such an opportunity to learn more about this initiative, about Hawaiian culture, and giving back in a very different way than I'm used to.
Well, first of all, the welcome is absolutely magnanimous. We all are just delighted. And I'm going to turn over to Jason Hoopai for a moment, board member as well, HLRI. Jason, your thoughts about Susan participating in the mission of HLRI?
I could not be more thankful and grateful to have somebody that's caring as Susan is to participate and help guiding this mission. I think that, it's challenging to do the right thing, provide opportunities for the community and the environment simultaneously. And Susan's been nothing but wealth of knowledge and really helping us steer this ship. So truly appreciative.
Susan, I would like to ask if you wouldn't mind and maybe share just a bit with others who are dialed in. When we talk about nonprofit organizations and those that have primarily their mission top of mind, not only the importance of fiduciary responsibility, but what guidance could you share for nonprofits who are underway financially, how they can either improve or optimize their financial positions?
Well, there's a number of funding options out there. For example, government partnerships corporate partnerships, other partnerships, and then the organizations themselves in generating income. Ideally, you want to rely on your own organic, endemic funding as opposed to relying on government, because the change of government, the changes like the wind, their priorities change and your funding options are at risk. So my advice would be to try and focus on your own ability to generate income, but also aligning yourselves with partners that have values that are aligned with yours. With HLRI, they've done a phenomenal job of developing these partnerships, and there's so many more. I mean, when you talk to Jeff and Jason, there's so many opportunities out there. It's a matter of sitting down and working out, what do we want to be when we, in 5-10 years, and we can't do it all. So what are our priorities? And that, culminates into your strategic plan. So having a strategy, developing those partnerships, and, people that sit on boards of nonprofit have to understand that, it's not like other boards. You have to roll up your sleeves and work as well to help the organization get on its feet and move forward. And I'm very happy to be participating with HLR in that regard.
We're delighted to chat with Susan and Jason. And Jason, a fortuitous time for Susan to become part of HLRI, because there is a recent announcement that a major milestone has been reached with HLRI in this mission. Can you share, please?
Yeah, sure. I feel like every day there's milestones, both in the field and our discoveries and through our conversations with good people. But we did, plant our 500,000th tree, which is really exciting. And we've got another 1.5 million that are in demand and slated for, and we're looking forward to plant the rest of those. So we're really excited to be a part of this, give back, and participate in the community that we're able to. So 500,000 trees is exciting. That's a forest to us, and we can't wait to build more.
Is there anything that you can share perhaps in the near future that will add to that 500,000, Jason?
Well, we've got new plantings that are going to be coming up on Oahu and Big Island, and I think opportunities to get involved, come out to our partner Gunstock Ranch and plant more there is certainly going to arise throughout the year. And so I certainly hope that everybody can listen in and stay posted to see where the new plantings are going to happen. And we should have quite a few more trees coming into the ground for 2020.
Best website to keep up with, track, and participate with HLRI, Jason, what would that be?
Yes, legacytrees.org. You can see all of our opportunities to plant, partners, and visit some of the other partners that we help and support in their missions to create a better environment for Hawaii.
Appreciate that, Jason, very much. Stay with us, both Susan and Jason, on News Radio 830 KHVH. It is 9:19 in the morning. Susan, new board member with HLRI, and Jason Hoopai, board member with HLRI, joining us today. Before we go, a couple of things, Susan, if you wouldn't mind. You were noted of recognizing HLRI as a leader in reforestation and sustainability. Can you share with us on 2 points your personal interest and desire to participate in these areas? And the other, it just dawned on me, HLRI is now truly an international organization. Having Susan, having you from Canada, can you share the perspective from the Canadian viewpoint?
Sure. So I don't know if I don't think we've mentioned, but our chair, Francis Wong, is a very, very dear friend of mine and a former senator of Hawaii, and is at the stage in his life where he's come full circle, where he started and gave back in Hawaii and is now getting very much involved with HLRI. And when he asked me to be involved, you don't say no to Francis Wong. I was very happy to get to know this initiative more and the desire for the organization to go global. was very much a part of our initial conversations. And my background is with a global financial services organization, and my most recent role was as head of corporate sustainability. So I'm part of because I took early retirement last year, part of a network of corporate sustainable leaders globally, and every region has its own challenges in terms of what they're dealing with. From the Canadian perspective, reforestation is extremely important, and as a matter of fact, it's mandated by the government that for every timber license we provide, that a certain number of trees are planted. What is different from that initiative and HLRI is that individual connection that somebody can have with replanting a tree. Whereas in Canada, it's, you hire a bunch of tree planters and, the corporations satisfy their obligation and you go from there. So that's what I find is unique. We're resource-based in Canada, and I don't know if anybody has followed, but we're having major challenges with establishing pipelines and so on. And from a sustainable perspective, there's a lot of unhappy people about that. And one of the things that is, balancing, being in sustainability in a global financial services organization, there's a balance between, economic growth and, being a good corporate sustainable citizen. And that's a really hard line to follow. What I love about HLRI, and it's something that Jason said to me in one of our early meetings, is HLRI is about what we put in the ground, not what we take out of the ground. And that really resonated with me when I first went on my field trip out to Hawaii.
I love everything that you've just mentioned because, Jason, this is the ecumenical side of reforestation and tree planting. There is no limitation on geography. This is something that can be outwardly beneficial to all, and Susan referred to a global objective. Jason, before we go, your thoughts about what Susan had to share and where you see the direction of HLRI headed.
Yeah, thank you. I think HLRI is an opportunity for Hawaii to create a marketplace for sustainability and export Hawaii's expertise in agriculture and help support the world and what it looks like and what it means to rebuild forest and actually make revenue by putting trees in the ground and creating opportunities for communities to be involved in that way. So I think it's exciting.
Right.
We're happy to see it.
I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed this conversation, and I've always made full disclosure that I am a supporter of, part of HLRI and the mission to reforest our native Hawaiian hardwoods. And the catalyst of that, Susan, I'll share with you as well, it was an epiphany to visit the island, the forest on the Big Island, to be ensconced in the beauty and the wonderment of these trees. And I was never an individual that had that type of affinity. I never knew it, never realized it, but I've learned, and it's so important. And to have you join HLRI is a blessing. And I think the next question is, when are you coming back out to Hawaii?
Well, I'd love to come back frequently, to be honest. Hawaii is such a favorite place for my husband and I to visit. When I went to visit the forest on the Big Island, that was actually my first time on the Big Island. I had been to Kauai and Maui many, many times, but I had not been to the Big Island. And to have a connection with Hawaii in this way is very special. And just to build on what you said about visiting that forest on the Big Island, to walk through the forest and see that lone koa is a remarkable feeling. And it solidified things for me, actually going to Gunstock, planting my own tree, making a dedication, and then going to the Big Island to see the big forest was very, very special. Yeah,
phenomenal. Susan, thank you so much, and we'll end our conversation with Jason, because, Jason, it is such an important element to invite partners and others that have a shared desire to support How about an invitation for folks to join us in this mission?
Yeah, please, absolutely. We are always looking for smart people, smart ideas, and good opportunities to be involved. You can reach out at legacytrees.org. Our 1-844-REFOREST is our toll-free number to call in, and we are looking for people to sponsor trees to become a part of a new forest here in Hawaii and help us grow this concept in Hawaii and beyond.
I cannot thank Susan Dujmovic enough for joining us, newest board member, Susan, and we look forward to all that we'll be doing together for HLRI and beyond. Thank you, Susan, so very much.
Mahalo. Thanks for having me.
And Jason Hoopai, my brother, thank you, as always, for time, dedication, information, and more. Plenty of mahalos to you, too, brother.
Aloha. Thank you.
And there you have it for both Susan and Jason. Thank you so much for being part of the program.